Have you ever felt terrified to express your truth? To maybe tell another person what's really true for you? Maybe you feared hurting their feelings or what they would say or feeling rejected. By the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing 3 steps to truth telling that you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be some powerful, potent tools that will allow you to authentically and lovingly communicate so that you can live your most free and fulfilled life. Recently, a friend was talking to me and they were expressing they were unhappy in their relationship. They didn't know how to communicate to their partner that they didn't feel like it was going to be a long-term situation, and they also just felt like they were best friends. And I expressed to them, I'm like, you're encountering a couple of things. They became best friends, and which is great. When you have a beloved, you want to be best friends. But what was happening is it was lacking desire. It's wonderful to cultivate and create a relationship that has love, that comfort, safety, stability. And it's also important that you cultivate a relationship that has desire, that uncertainty, that energy of wanting to just lean in and cultivate excitement. So if the relationship has one and not the other, it may start to feel like a friendship or like a buddy, where it's no longer, it doesn't have that zest. Now, this is not a complacent activity. Relationships take energy. Where focus goes, energy flows. When we put work and invest our time and energy into something, we're going to cultivate things. We're going to allow it to grow and expand. Just like a garden, when you plant a seed and you water it, you love it, you nurture it, it's going to grow. It's the same thing with relationships. So what I shared with my friend is a very powerful topic on the truth. And you may have never heard it this way, but it's a very important topic because over the past 12 years, I've had a lot of clients, including myself and my former beloved, come face to face with the invitation to tell our truth. Before we go any further, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime I'm sharing new videos. Also, be sure to stay till the end because I'm going to share one of my favorite resources. You're going to be able to learn if you're attracting or blocking love. So be sure to tune in for that. Hi, my name is Michele Ariana, and I absolutely love helping ambitious women attract love while loving themselves and without losing themselves. This channel is the place to be to create a romantic, magical, healthy relationship, starting with yourself. Okay, so as I mentioned, when my friend came to me a bit distraught about feeling like they weren't happy in their relationship, but they didn't know what to do, I shared this concept. This was something my former beloved and I talked about, and I believe I got it from him, in fact. He said, the first and scariest person you have to own up and tell the truth to is yourself. You must first be present with what is true for you. What is aligned with your values? What is it that you want? What are your true desires? If you wouldn't be judged, if you wouldn't hurt anyone, imagine if you had complete freedom. What is your true desires? What is authentic for you that wants to come through? When you sit with yourself and be present with your own truth, that could be one of the scariest things. You must be willing to tell yourself the truth first. So step 1, tell yourself the truth. What is alive for you? If you're in a relationship that's not working, or you just feel like it's a best friendship and you need to have a hard conversation, then your truth is, I need to have a hard conversation. This has to be done. Because what happens is if you repress or suppress your truth, it's going to start coming out in other areas. People are just mirrors and projections of your consciousness. So what you repress and suppress, people will express. And you'll project it onto them, and you'll start to notice a pattern. And or you might start to notice it in your body. If you don't listen to your emotional state, your feelings and your thoughts are trying to tell you, it can start to come into your physical body. And you might get aches and pains, or something might occur to wake you up or shake you out of your sleep state so that you can tell yourself the truth. So the second step to truth telling is, once you tell yourself the truth, you then need to tell another person your truth, which might involve the person that your truth is involved with. Meaning if it's in a relationship, once you get clear, or at least start, if you notice that something is off, the second step to telling your truth is to tell your partner, to have a conversation held with love and intention. When I share with my clients on how to have a hard conversation, here's some tips. First, set an intention. What is the end outcome that you would like to experience? Imagine it in your mind, write it out. My end outcome is that my partner and I see each other, we hear each other, and we hold each other in the greatest of love, while also being present with the real emotions that are true. Maybe that's your intention. And then envision the end result of that conversation. So before you even approach a person with your truth, do some intentional work, do some visualization just to help the mind get prepared. It's just mental rehearsal, which when you rehearse it in your mind, not that you have to control the outcome, but it's just to give you the courage and the strength to share your truth. Because if you don't share your truth, you're going to start to unconsciously think you're betraying yourself. And then you're going to stop trusting yourself. And then that creates a lot of issues in life. It starts activating programs in the mind, like negative programs that will compound. Then you'll stop not trusting other people and you won't trust the world. Like, it does all start with self, and you can start with the healing within. So first step, tell yourself the truth. Second step, tell the person your truth with intention and using neutral words, not like you did this, you did that, but or you made me feel this way or you made me feel that way, with neutral words saying, taking ownership of, I feel this way when. My experience of the situation is this. My perception and interpretation of our situation is this. I feel this way. Because the thing is, people can't argue with your feelings. Now, if you start blaming and saying, you made me feel this way, I don't, my truth is XYZ because you want to come from neutrality. And you take ownership and just say, I felt this way. I feel this way when, I get activated when, this triggers me when this experience happens, okay? So when you tell the truth, just keep it neutral. So be intentional, rehearse it and imagine it in your mind, an end result that's positive, and use neutral languaging. Okay, so the third step to truth telling, once you tell yourself the truth, once you tell the person immediately related to your truth, then the third step is then, if it is necessitated, then you can tell the world your truth. And each step of the way, be really gentle and easy with yourself. You have to give yourself grace because telling your truth can be very scary. When my beloved came to me, my former beloved came to me and asked me to uncouple, it was very hard for him. He was filled with emotion, and I could tell it activated a lot of fear because our truth can be scary because we're afraid of rejection. We're afraid of hurting people. If you're a reformed people pleaser like me, then you could have fear of hurting people, which again, we don't control other people's feelings. Always do your best to make sure you're living your most aligned life, aligned with your values. Make it ecological, good for you, good for others, good for the world. Like, you're not hurting anyone maliciously, but you really don't control other people's feelings. So you just have to live your life the best as you can, express lovingly, and be so honest and clear in your communication. It really, really is important, because when you do, even though you might think that you control someone else's happiness, you really don't. And what you might not realize is that when you set someone else free, you set yourself free if that's what's true for you. And if you're like growing through an uncoupling, when you set someone free, you may be helping them on their path. If you want to check out a great video, I made this on conscious uncoupling. It will really give you, if you're at that stage in the game in a relationship where you are faced in a scenario where you are coming to a conclusion of your love story and you want to consciously uncouple, then check that video out. I'll link it in the description below. It'll be very helpful. My former beloved and I talked about how we did it. And so it may give you some insightful steps. All right, well, there you have it. The 3 steps to truth telling. This way you can always be in full integrity with who you are. When we aren't communicating our truth, we'll get issues with our throat. We can create scenarios where you'll be invited. I say invited. The universe will create a scenario where you have to speak your truth. And so it's best to just have these tools so that you can clearly, authentically, and lovingly communicate so that you can live the most free, loving life for you and for everyone around you. Comment below, when was a time when you had to share your truth and how were you feeling? Did it activate different emotions? I'd love to hear about it. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you can be aware of any time when I'm posting new videos. Also, be sure to check out my free Love Attraction quiz plus guide. In it, you're going to discover if you're attracting love or blocking it. Once you take the quiz, you can go through and see the 15 sabotaging beliefs that block women from love and how to clear them so that you can create the relationship of your dreams. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you next time.